we have this new, so this huge HEX stake is coming due. I think it's this week or within a week at this point now. So one of the gigantic OA HEX stakes, I think it's one of the ones that was just made over the last year whenever we saw a bunch of inflation cuts across the ecosystem with the ink inflation being slashed. Again, these mega huge HEX stakes. So HEX inflation came down. So PulseNet ecosystem posted a couple of days ago, HEX countdown, the beast awakens in just 10 days. So from this point, it's probably only about 5 days. That legendary $33 billion HEX stake, ID 9144418 from that wallet, ends on March 17th. Oh, there you go. Today's what? Okay, 6 days. So yeah. March 17th, 26. Yeah, the one only Richard Hart could possibly hold, supposedly. Nobody else moved supply like this. 11 days left at that time. 6 now, ticking down fast. What's the play? Mega restake for insane longer-term yields, partial unstake and liquidity flood, something wild we haven't seen yet. Community, spill your theories. What do you think RH has planned? And will it pump shake HEX when it I don't know what he meant there. When it unlocks, drop your takes below. So yeah, one of the huge stakes from the OA that we saw coming due. So I DM'd you right away when I saw this. What are your thoughts on it? What could be done with it? And yeah, interesting that the first one of these is coming due.
Well, it's interesting that it has over 1 million T-shares on this one stake. That's just crazy to me. I think it will hold. I don't think it will unstake right away. However, I believe that someone in the community will end it, and they will do an end, basically a good accounting on it. And what that does in itself will put those T-shares back into the system. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I don't think anybody will feel like, let's see if Richard burns it, right? Let's see if he rewards all the holders, because that process takes forever for it to happen to really amount to anything. It would take 2 weeks before it even started to burn itself. And at that point, those 1,053,000 T-shares are just sitting there idle. So I believe that somebody does the good accounting function on it and puts those T-shares back in the system, because that kind of forces a reaction from him. All right, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave the yield higher? Because this will definitely see an increase in HEX per T-share that you have, because you're losing 1 million from the system. That makes everybody's piece of pie kind of increase. Yes, anybody can do the good accounting on it. So I remember at one point there was a bunch of stakes that were out there that were burning that had a lot of T-shares, and one of the community members named John Wick spent a lot of money on Ethereum to end those stakes and reward everybody essentially with more T-shares. So I don't remember how his dog. I don't remember how many T-shares it increased the pool by, but it was a substantial number of stakes. So that was done by John Wick. Anyway, I see that happening very similar. A good accounting, somebody will run it, which will increase the payout for everybody. Then what's the next move, right? Do you let the yield kind of continue? Do you let that build? And do you bring some interest back to HEX staking? We all know that when you have a lot of HEX staked earning yield, the price goes up. Well, when there's not that much yield, less people stake, more people sell. It's a chain reaction. So I feel like this could be a short-term reward to get people to stake their HEX again, or kind of monitor it and see are you gonna enable a bunch of short-term monthly rolling stakes again and people just dump it, or are you gonna kind of entice people to do some longer stakes and to get some longer yields. And again, I think it's going to be we'll kind of wait and see from that entity to does it restake and reclaim those T shares again and cut people's yield because people can't behave and they just do short rolling stakes and then dump the yield and do it over and over and over again. Or does it entice people to lock up some longer stakes so that this price can actually do something?
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you is what are the chances that, the T shares go back into the ecosystem? And because you're right, the whole effort was obviously to slash the HEX inflation to stop the short-term huge stakes. Like you didn't really want that going on. So do you think that is allowed now to where there will be HEX staking coming back in? Because it's especially because nobody really knows where this market is going. And, I get it. Like HEX is supposed to be a long-term thing and 5555, not that everybody has to stake 15 years or anything like that. And honestly, so many people are gun shy with doing anything super long-term in crypto just because of what we've seen over the last few years. And then you don't even get a bull market out of it. So I understand that. But even if you looked at it from the perspective of like, well, okay, maybe I'll just 10% of my overall Pulse Chain portfolio might be HEX staking, for example, and looking long term, maybe 20%, whatever it is you decide to do. But do you think whatever the action is that's taken by the OA would be, okay, let's forgive a little bit of this again so people can actually earn some interest on their T shares here, even if there are short-term dumpers. And I got to think the short-term dumpers, that there are less and less of them because they've been selling for years now,
Right. Yeah, people don't have those kind of bags to do those large rolling stakes anymore. It doesn't pay out. That's why they parted with their, obviously you can tell by the price that people got out and sold a lot of that off. And they don't have the ammunition to do those anymore. So that's a possibility too. And like I said, that's why I said I think it's a kind of a wait and see how people play out. Do people start staking longer to capture some of these T shares that have now kind of increased the pool a little bit and made yield exciting again? So I think we wait and see, but those are basically your options. The other option of him letting it bleed to reward the stakers, I really don't see that happening. You're talking 33 billion principal. I have no idea what this has even yielded along the way, but I can probably guess hundreds of millions of HEX along the way. So,
right.
What they started 1932. I don't even remember what day that was. I think we're at like 22 or 2300 now.
So over a year or so.
So yeah. So it's probably yielded a couple 100 million anyway. So
yeah. Question from Viper, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't checked T-share rates in a while. I'm guessing this is higher than it's been lately. He said, Ewok question, why was yesterday's T-share total 3.461? I don't know if you even knew that, Ewok, but it's been like 1 point something for a while, hasn't it? Or am I wrong?
There were probably some penalties. There were some, I know there were people looking at trying to get their stakes off of the Staker app.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw Giga had put out a little contract or something to allow them to access them. And I know there were some early end stakes of people just trying to get them off of there. That could be it. It was down lower, and I know that is up, but I don't know the exact reason. I didn't look into it enough. But it's penalties, basically. That's essentially what it is. People either end staking, causing penalties, but that's why it went up so much.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what is done with this, but and also, the idea of the OA just letting it not bleed, but not in staking it right away, and then see what somebody does to force the hand. So we see, kind of what does occur.
Because they'll have 2 weeks. They'll have 2 weeks to do something. But honestly, it's on Pulse Chain. It's on both chains, I believe. I'm pretty certain it was done on both chains. and the only being a year, it shouldn't cost that much to end it, even on Ethereum. So I think it would benefit everybody to have somebody go in and do the good accounting right away and not wait to see what they do.
Right. Yeah, that would be very interesting for sure. Well, good stuff. Yeah, we'll see what does come out of this. Did you have anything else you wanted to leave off on quick?
No, I did it earlier. I was going to give a shout out to the people that were continuing to build, and we kind of did it, earlier. Again, we'll do it again, but Pateus, Liberty Swap, you got KG with Internet Money. I think he's over 115,000 downloads now, across all platforms, Android, Apple, and Google Store. So yeah, I mean, just shout out to those guys. They're continuing to build, and probably not the ideal time, but they deserve some credit for it.
I totally agree. Yeah, the people that are just standing up, like you can see who's left over from the ecosystem, and how easy it was for some people to bail. There was a really interesting stream last week that Cultivate Crypto, Charlie and Miguel hosted, that had on. I sent it to you guys to check out, and obviously some people were a bit frustrated with that stream if you're a fan of Pulse Chain, because it was kind of bogarted by one particular person that kept saying the same stuff over and over again. And I don't know that they were the best person to be on that stream, but it was basically like Money Gang Crypto, B Roots, Fast Abdul, who I thought in his short time of being allowed to talk was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
A Wild SJ talking about the marketing stuff. It was basically just like KG was on there. There were some PTGC guys and stuff like that. I think it's a worthwhile stream. It was kind of like a state of Pulse Chain type of thing, just to get perspectives on both sides. If you can make it through the first, half hour of what was being said. Apparently, I guess the beginning is the particularly tough part, but I don't even know where I was going with that. I mean, they did acknowledge a lot of the builders on there too, and I think that's what's so awesome is like everybody you just mentioned, but then I just said too, a Wild SJ and all the people that are volunteering. Yeah. Doing the tablets, which obviously there's been a lot of starting and stopping and stuff like that with those based on market conditions and whatever else, but people are busting their ass out there for sure, and things are being built. And it's like, as tough as these times are, and as much as it feels like you're getting kicked in the teeth, there's all these fundamental things that just look so good for the long term. And yes, did a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be rich by now at this juncture in 2026 that we're here in 2020, 2021 at the end of the bull cycle? Yeah. But things have just not panned out that way. And I think it's mainly a result of macro conditions, which likely will not last forever. So will we ultimately get to the goal that we're all trying to get to in terms of, our investments, the freedom that we're looking for in life? I think that's what most of us are after, is not having to trade our time for money at a job and stuff like that anymore. And we all may get there. Maybe it just won't look exactly the path that you thought. I mean, clearly it already isn't. So that's how those things do happen sometimes. So didn't know if you have any other points on that, Ewok.
No, I really don't. I think, like I said, power to those people. Mm-hmm. Hang in there. That's about it.
Yeah. Just glad to. That's one thing. We could be somewhere where it actually was abandoned, but instead we're somewhere where, even though it hurts like hell for sure, and the bags are down, Richard Hart beat the SEC in court and has a precedent-winning lawsuit. He's building new things and launching a new product very, very soon. He's clearly active and doing things. We have people busting their ass building things. It could be much, much worse, even though it seems rough because of price right now. So, well, hey, this has been a great show. Shout out chat. I mean, even though I guess the X stream wasn't working tonight, you guys have been awesome. So Viper Styles, Checks My Pulse, The Rat, Valiant Low Key, of course, Philly. We had Hex Girl, RH Max checked in. Tam Checks My Pulse, of course. Pulse Beats. Oh, apparently he made a new track for us. We got to go check out after the show. Yeah, so I'll go check that out. Hex Wizard. I saw DJ Cryptomatic, our new friend, stepped in here tonight. So shout out to him. But yeah, appreciate all you guys. Love all you guys. We will be here every Wednesday. Should be back next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for Crypto Ewok, this has been Bacon Bits Boi Crypto right here on the Creed of Crypto. We'll see you guys.
See y'all.